Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Stefan Adon in the building, man, formerly known as Ringo J. We got a lot to get into on today's episode because it seems like how some of these NFL scouts are talking, we may need to have a little trade back conversation in this draft. They're talking about this draft as kind of a, let's call it meat and potatoes kind of draft, as Jordan JC would say, a little steak and potatoes kind of draft, a little steak action. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with a little steak action. Got to talk about all that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Ringo, I see you painted the wall. What's going on, brother?
Nah, man. Hey, man. All I gotta say, bro, like it's been a lot. It's been a lot of stuff. It's been a lot of stuff going on. But nah, we back. We back for real though. We back. I'm back in rotation. We straight.
I hope so. I was texting the group chat. I was like, Ringo been on the friends and family plan lately. We've been wondering about where Ringo been at. We've been looking for him. Nah, man, it's always good to have you back, man. We got a lot to get into on today's show. I need y'all to go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Start the show off right, man. First things first, how you doing, my guy? Everything good? Everything copacetic?
Yeah, man. Everything good. You know, my parents just had their wedding anniversary yesterday. Big 46. So you know, we gave out some gifts for that. But nah, everything other than that, it's been smooth. It's been a little smooth. Can't lie.
All right. Okay. Shout out to the fam out here. 46. Dang, it was 45 last year. I was at 45.
Yeah.
That's been a year?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's absolutely insane. But no, man, listen, I mean, a lot to get into. That's crazy that the time is flying like that. That's called having kids, I guess. But no, man, a lot to get into on today's show. Let's start it off here, man, because ESPN dropped this article talking about Matt Miller that I thought was incredibly interesting when talking about the NFL draft class. And, you know, the conversation that we always have is, right, can you find that game-changing piece? Can you find a blue chip player? Right. That's always the conversation around this Chicago Bears team, and always a conversation around every team heading into the draft. And the real conversation, I think, that makes this a little bit different this year is we've talked about some of these top players, and we've talked about them as, okay, this guy has this going on for him. This guy has this level of talent. This guy could be this level of player.
Mm-hmm.
And you always want that to be the long, right? You always want that to be a superstar, especially when you're in the top 10, like the Chicago Bears have been, especially when you're in the top of the draft, like the Bears have been, right? You don't go into the draft talking about Caleb Williams and hoping that he's just a guy. You don't go into just a guy is a tough term right now, by the way. Hey, listen, Steve Smith.
Hey, what?
Hey,
bro.
Just the guy, a tough term right now.
Said nothing. Said nothing.
You can't say too much on that. But what Matt Miller was talking about and what scouts are saying about this draft class is that there are 4, maybe 5 blue chip players in this draft class. And after that, it could be 40 guys with late first to second round grades. One area scout actually talked about this class and said you're going to see a ton of rookie starters from this class because it's such an experienced group in the AFC South area. The scout, I should say, was from the AFC South area. And the thing that I think was most interesting was the conversation around it is the narrative for this draft class is very similar to the 2015 and or 2016 draft class where you had 2 top guys at the top of the draft. 2015 was Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. A lot of solid Pro Bowlers after that. The 2016 draft, you had Jared Goff, you had Carson Wentz, and you had a lot. Now, in this draft, you have some guys that are dominating the trenches, which could be a big part of the conversation here for the 2025 draft, because out of that draft, you get Joey Bosa, Ronnie Staley went 6, DeForest Buckner went 7, Jack Conklin went 8, Leonard Floyd ended up going 9 to the Chicago Bears in that draft, and we see kind of where he is at now. And oddly enough, I do see a Leonard Floyd in this draft. I think this year's draft, Leonard Floyd is James Pierce Jr., somebody who is, come back to earth here in his second year, but or in his third year in college, I should say. But when you hear that, does that scream to you for the Chicago Bears, who are sitting at 10, draft back, get as much capital as possible? Because the Chicago Bears are actually mentioned in this article, and what they say about the Bears is this is a draft that is great for teams selecting in the middle of the first round or later. It also benefits the teams that have 3 or more picks in the first 2 rounds, such as the Chicago Bears, who have selections between numbers 10 and 41, and the Buffalo Bills with 3 selections between numbers 30 and 62. In this type of draft, would you be looking to trade back if you're the Chicago Bears?
I could see them trading back after, because I don't see them getting rid of that 10th pick. I think that 10th pick is vital just because of already, what we've seen with the history of Caleb Williams and him pretty much being on his back. As we've continuously lamented, we talked about Will Campbell, Derek Tim. We talked about a lot of names. Derek Tim. I think that is the pick that they keep. I could see them trading back after that, but I mean, it's not. What am I trying to say? It's not out of the norm to hear about what they've been talking about, because when you look at this draft, all the mocks that I've seen people talk about,
nice
mock. They've had Shador as low as like 20, but they're like, hey, with the way that the draft is slated right now and where the teams are at, he's gonna have to go 3. So it's just one of those things that I could definitely see them trading back. Another thing that I liked in the article that I've told you about, the room that everybody's most excited about. The room that everybody is most excited about is that dang running back room.
100%.
Bears might not take Aston Genty at 10, but I mean, if you look at the names, you're talking about Genty, Judkins, Henderson, Caleb Johnson, Sampson, Scotabo, who they didn't mention. It's a lot of names. It's a lot of names. You got about 7 or 8 names there as well. So now I think that they trade back after 10. So I would say, yeah, I think they probably should, but after they handle that.
So you don't like trading back to, because see, here's the thing for me, right? If you don't feel like there's a blue chip player at 10, what are you putting yourself in a position for? You're putting yourself in a position for an overdraft. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. If it hits, it hits. And that's realistically the end of the day. If it hits, it hits. If you go out, and I could care less where somebody is drafted. I wanted to draft Jackson Powers Johnson. I said trade back with that second first round pick. You draft Jackson Powers Johnson with, I think I wanted them to trade with the Steelers last season. What was the Steelers, 20, something like that? And everybody's, you can't take a center in the first round. Oh my God, Pat, how could you even think? But Jackson Powers Johnson has proven, 1, that he could play at the NFL level. 2, yes, there's still some development things that could be a problem there. If you can't develop him in the right direction, he's got a lot of flux going on in that Raiders room. But realistically speaking, you're talking about a guy who, if you're looking at the Chicago Bears right now, I would love to have on the team in Jackson Powers Johnson, and who I wouldn't feel bad about if we had traded back and acquired more picks and added that guy to the team with my starting quarterback that I'm going to be moving forward with in the future. You know why? Because I'm about to go spend a stupid amount of money on a center this season because I didn't address center last season. So for me, I'm fine with you if you get the right guy in that first round. I could care less if it is 10, if it's 12, if it's 15, if it's 20, if it's 32. But what I will say is if you have the possibility to acquire more picks in this draft, when I hear one of the area scouts who was brought out in here, and this scout was from he was from the AFC East. He said, though the class appears to lack high-end talent, high-end can't-miss prospects seen as future stars such as a Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr., like last year, it has fewer ranked players highly based purely on potential. Player number 15 on your board might have the same grade as player number 50. And here's the thing. When you're talking about where we're kind of looking at some of these players, we're not talking about player 15 being a scrub. We're talking about player 15 being an impact piece in the NFL. When you look at PFF, right, who are some of the guys that are 15 to 25? I look at a guy like Omarion Hampton, who may end up going a little bit higher than that 25 rank where PFF has him right now, but who I think could be a really solid piece for you moving forward if you want to take running back that high. When I look at a Walter Nolan on the defensive interior, if you're talking about a Josh Simmons, if you're talking about a Kelvin Banks Jr., right? Those are the names to me that I look at and I say, okay, if he's 15, he's 16, he's 17, he's 18, but I kind of have this same, they're going to reach this similar ceiling here. To me, that's a conversation on how if you're at 10, you absolutely have to trade back. You absolutely have to try and get as many of those pieces as possible, because now you're talking about having multiple guys in the same draft. Let's say I come away with 25 in this, right? And 25 ends up being Armand Menbo. But I'm also able to get a second round pick in this draft as well. Now, it's a little bit different because 25 is Atlanta right now. Atlanta's probably looking to add picks as well. But like, I think those are the kind of conversation that if you have 10, you should be looking to have, because if you feel that these guys are all great, and this is NFL scouts, this is NFL GMs, this is not Pat the designer and Ringo J telling you that this is where this draft is looking like. This is what the NFL scouts and GMs around the league are talking about this draft as being. They've described it as a meat and potatoes draft. I think that that's a conversation that you may have to bring up, because if I can get two of those guys that feel like they're both going to be maybe not all pros, but maybe they're a couple of Pro Bowl level players, maybe they're guys that you constantly talk about
Good
as
level
top
starters.
5, top 10 in their position. How can you talk? How can you not want to acquire more of those pieces?
Yeah, I feel like it's a conversation because of the money that the Bears are about to spend. So I mean, it's definitely a conversation to be had, but you also don't want to be the team that's like, dig, even though this draft got a lot of, quote unquote, okay, like they're not Hall of Famers. Like we missed out on that one piece because we did trade back, even though like we got a solid day one starter that's gonna last us for the next 9 years. We didn't get that Hall of Fame caliber. He was just on the cusp of being that guy. Sure. So I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, I'm really interested to see what they do in the running back room, because at this point, bro, I'm with you now. Like the more I've been hearing Ben Johnson talk, I'm not with the whole he's gonna draft Aston Gentry at 10, because that would be crazy. That would be a day. That would be a day.
Now here's the crazy part, right? Here's the crazy part. Ooh, I don't like what I'm about to say.
Go ahead, say it.
I don't like what I'm about to say. But I have to be true to the conversation we're having.
Right.
I believe, and it brought out this in the running back room, right? I believe that you can get running back in multiple places. I believe you can get running back in multiple rounds and find a really, really freaking good running back. If you address the offensive line, there's a lot of ifs going into this because it's a running back. If you address the offensive line in free agency heavily, Trey Smith, Drew Dahlman, both locked up long term, and Gentry If you scout it out, now we'll never know until people are playing, right? But if you scout it out and you see a bunch of guys who are okay players, and you see Genty blue chip guy, if you address offensive line and sign somebody on the defensive line, I won't flip a table on Genty at 10. I'm not going to be happy.
Okay.
But I won't flip a table on Genty at 10. Because here's the thing. If this is the case, and here's the thing. I also don't believe there are no blue chip players after the top 5 guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like we always, it's a weak draft. It's not a great draft. I look at Mike Green, and I know he's a name I keep bringing up. Mike Green to me is a stud. Mike Green looks like Khalil Mack. Mike Green literally looks like Khalil Mack.
But it might be one of those things, because remember in the article they said, a lot of these guys just haven't gotten around to watching some of these schools, and that's okay. So I mean,
Mike Green is slated as a top 15 player.
Yeah.
If you don't take him at 10, you're not getting him.
Yeah,
I would rather go. My number 1 would be, if you miss out on miss out on him. If you miss out on Will Compton, if you miss out on
you mean Will Campbell?
Will Campbell, my bad. Will Compton is also an offensive lineman.
Yeah, also offensive lineman.
No. Will Compton.
Oh, Will Compton
is
no Chargers.
Colts?
No, that's Chargers.
Colts? Somebody let me know. Is he Chargers? He might be Chargers. If you miss out on a Will Campbell, if you miss out on a Mason Graham, if you miss out on, you're going to miss out on Abdul Carter. Although I saw that he may not be healthy, and I have it on good authority that this guy does drown penguins. I'm just saying, if I'm drafting 1 through 9, I wouldn't take him. But anyway, if you miss out on one of those guys, to me, my number 1 guy after that would be Mike Green. Because I think he's that level of player. But if you look at everything, you look at Mike Green and you say, yeah, he did that, but he did that at Marshall, so I can't take that. I got to take all that with a grain of salt. I see Gray Zabel. Gray Zabel's a later in the draft guy. I look at Kelvin Banks and he's okay, but he's not going to be great. We got kind of all of these guys in the same spot. I'm not going to be thrilled. I will be on these airways talking about how, wow, I can't believe we just took a running back in the first round, losing my mind.
Hey, remember, it's Monday. Chat, I need y'all to remember, it's Monday at 6:16.
Here's the thing. If you go tackle and center and you get it, and you go one of the defensive ends that's available in free agency, I can understand it. I'm not gonna like it, but I can understand it.
Okay. So you saying, essentially you saying he the luxury?
Oh, 100%. Every running back is luxury.
Okay.
Every running back.
Okay,
I tell you this right now, and it's not a love for Genty or a hate for Genty. I think Genty's a good player.
Yeah.
But I can give you 20 players right now that I would either trade back to get or just take at 10 before Ashton Genty.
Well, I mean, even if they trade out of that 10th pick and then you go back, even if you don't get Mason Graham, like I've been saying,
Mason Graham's probably going top 5.
But this past year though, like Mason Graham and Grant, like the two D tackles for Michigan, even if you don't wind up getting Graham, Grant is right there, and that is a phenomenal option as well. I just don't see, and if they take a running back with that 10th pick, like you said, I'm not gonna go too crazy. I don't necessarily love it just because of the simple fact I just gave you like 7 guys before we even got to Genty when we was just talking about the running backs right now. So I mean, listen, if they put the offensive line together right, it necessarily don't gotta be him. It could be a Henderson. It could be a Junkins. It could be
And what I like is right what Rex Smith said. The idea is that Jenty's a blue chip player, even if I don't like him. Right. And I may not be happy about the pick. I may not be, but my thing is, if you're you've put resources into the trenches.
Right.
Versus putting draft capital into the trenches. There's a world that I can live in where I sit there and maybe I like flip tables in my basement. And I'm sick of this. But then I can be a month down the road and go, I understand why you did this. I just don't like it.
Yeah, especially if it works out.
Go. You got to understand. That's also how the draft room goes. How many scouts you think scouted some kid for an entire season, bring it back to Ryan Poles and go, this is the answer? How about the dude that 100% was scouting Jared Verse? How about that guy in the draft room sitting there? Jared Verse guy, I think you got to take him top 10. I mean, like, we got a couple of picks here. I love Roma Dunze, but I think Jared Verse, he's that level of talent. Nah, we're going to go with Odunze. How's that guy?
Hey, he's sick. He said how he felt is how I felt about Will Anderson. How he felt is how I felt is absolutely how I felt about Will Anderson. Because I literally sat right here and was like, yo, I love Carter. And it's crazy because now Carter's got a ring. Carter's got a ring. He was an instrumental part in that. Will Anderson is really freaking good.
Yeah.
So it's also like, you're absolutely right. I think that's how those conversations go. It would be crazy, but it's like you said, if they do their due diligence and Poles and Johnson are lockstep, like, hey, okay, we're building the line through free agency, and then they got some dogs. As far as the running back position, have at it, because I like everybody's saying, like everybody has continued to say, this draft, I think that the most slept on class, not most slept on class, but most exciting class is that running back room. So they short up everything else, and you're coming into the season with a DJ Moore on one side, Roma Dunze. And then Komet's finally going to go back to getting his touches, which is what I believe because of what Johnson did with Laporta. And then you're coming in at basically in the backfield with Genty or Judkins or whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a W.
Yeah.
That's a W. That's a win. So
Silver Harvest with the question, shout out to the super fan, said, really, this year, who is the guy who's going to drop out of the top 5 for XYZ reason? Tatori McMillan. I think that he's probably the number 1 wide receiver on the board right now.
Oh, McMillan?
Yeah, and he out of Arizona, and he will probably drop
honestly,
out of that top 5 because of the quarterback room. Somebody's going to shoot up. We know somebody's going to shoot up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody's gonna fly up the
QB room.
QB room. We already know that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You know who it's gonna be?
Who?
Jackson Dart.
You know what? I just said that.
It's gonna be Jackson Dart.
I just said
be
that
Jackson Dart.
On the Chicago Bears podcast today. Here's the reason why I said that. Jackson Dart is coming in with the same conversation as a guy that just won the Super Bowl to me. Now, a lot more skins on the wall for Jalen Hurts. A lot more skins on the wall for Jalen Hurts. A lot more skins on the wall for Jalen Hurts in college. Jackson Dart essentially did nothing. He put up numbers.
Yeah.
He did. I don't think he has a bowl win. Does Ole Miss have a bowl win? I don't think he has. He has nothing.
I don't think so. But he did absolutely put up numbers. His decision making is the reason why he is where he is. I feel like because he has the talent, but I feel like the decision making is where he kind of gets himself in trouble. But he makes all the throws,
that's very important.
Yeah, he makes all the throws. Is decently athletic. his decision making is a problem. But I feel like once he gets to that combine, it just take one dude
Yeah.
in that combine room, or when they get to the pro day, where they make the one throw, and did that look Mahomey to you?
Bro, and that's
Did that look
what I
Mahomey
said
to
this
you?
morning, bro. We would talk about that this morning, and I was like, bro, like, listen, the draft combine is the BBL of the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's literally like all the bums that you looked at, not that Jackson Dart's a bum, but all the guys that you looked at as nowhere near top 5, second round pick, third round pick. All of a sudden they start shooting up jab. And Anthony Richardson was a second round pick at best. Some mocks had him going in the third.
He had first round talent, but the reason why we held out on that is because when he was at Florida, he didn't have that receiver help. But you knew he
said that boy was cheeks. I said that boy was cheeks in the draft. The whole time when they were like, he's flying up the draft boards, I was like, there's no way a logical GM takes him.
But again, that was based off of basically, what they said. This is going to be a lot of potential.
Roddy.
It depends on the BBL.
You want those nuts? Roddy, not wrong. There's some solid BBLs out there. There's some solid BBLs. There's some bad BBLs.
Okay. But how you know? I mean, sure, but you just got to know which one is the grade A BBL though.
Here's the thing. That might be what most of this draft is. We might be talking about most of this draft is just a solid BBL. 14 through 50 might just be a solid BBL. But it's gonna be some mugs in there that's got that Mariah Mills. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some mugs in there.
That Mariah Mills is crazy. Wait, so you mean they good for the season, or they just good for a couple games?
I mean, listen, you never know, bro. It's gonna be some people in there that's on that.
Zion Williamson and porn star.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I don't see one lie told. But nah, man, that's
oh my.
Bro, the comparison this morning was crazy. I mean, but it's not one lie told. Like he made the throw at the combine. It was literally like, oh, we got to take this dude. Like he's launching it from the 20 all the way to the other 20. Like we got to take him. Same thing with Zach Wilson. It literally just takes one throw.
You want to know crazy? I think Zach Wilson got game.
You said what?
I think Zach Wilson can play. I think Zach Wilson just ain't like one. He was with the Jets. I think he learned a lot about how to be a professional, and now he's just like kind of fitting to that backup role. I think if he get another spot, he might he might keep he might actually get a long-term, almost I don't know if I want to say he'll ever be a great quarterback, but a little Fitzpatrick-y. I think he could be a little Fitzpatrick.
I can see that.
Or Silver Harvest next Geno. I don't know about Geno. I'd have to see it. But hey, Doug Key, Zach Wilson with the Rams 100%. Doug Key said, no, not that one. That was hilarious. Pat, your boy Jake Majors is dropping a bit. Care to explain? Bro, I don't know. I'll say this. When you look at the mock drafts, I implore everybody to go look at people's tape. When I see Jake Majors, I see a guy that's constantly moving people the other direction, right? I don't know if it's a size, if it's a they don't believe in his speed with his feet, you know what I mean? But he is falling for sure down boards. Let me see if Jake Majors right now is the 197th ranked in PFF right now. So he's fallen a lot. 6'3", 315 pounds, 23 years old. Maybe the age plays into it. And I think that, and Baki, I think that's a good one. Jake Majors dropped the second Gray Zabel showed out at the Senior Bowl. 100%. But I saw a young man that could pass block his butt off and that can move people out of the way. And here's what I'll say about the pre-draft processes with a lot of these people. Do not be surprised if a guy like Mel Kiper is wrong. because he's often wrong.
He's wrong a lot.
And I respect Mel Kiper. I respect what he does. That's a lot of breakdown. He's giving his opinion on it. But I saw Mel Kiper say something about James Pierce Jr. that to me should not be a draft breakdown. He said, I don't know what he is, so I don't believe that he's a top pick in the draft. James Pierce Jr. had 14 sacks last season, I believe. And in a down season this year where teams started to double team him, started to chip him off of the edge, started to attack him a heck of a lot more, had 8. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that he's elite. I'm not sitting here telling you that he's Abdul Carter. What I am telling you is that some team is going to see that and say, thank God James Pierce is falling. That to me is kind of where you have to look at the Jake Majors conversation. If you're a Bears fan and you go out and you sign Drew Dahlman and you're hoping for the best, thank God Jake Majors is falling. Because when I get into the 4th round, it seems like he may still be there. If I get into that 3rd round, I know that he's still going to be there. If that is the case, I'm fine with that. But we got to remember, if I'm not mistaken, was Drew Dahlman not a 4th round pick? The guy we want to sign, was he not a 4th round pick? The other guy we want to sign, was he not a 6th round pick? Now, Trey Smith fell because of leg injury, I believe. But that is not a bad thing for the Chicago Bears. Watch the tape, see what you like about the young man, see what you dislike about the young man. When I look at his tape, I think he's a monster. I think he's a people mover. And so for me, that is kind of the big thing that I'm focused in on. Are you moving people the other direction? But we'll see, man. I don't know about a Jake Majors, man. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Check this article out over on ESPN as well. I thought this was a really solid article to tap into when talking about I think you're right, Brand. I think Smith did have blood clots. That I think he had a little. Was it a deep vein thrombosis? I think he had a little Wimby action, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had a little bit of Wimby action. But check this article out. Let me know you guys' thoughts on it, and of course, tap in with us in the comments below, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the show and love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Ringo, any parting words for the people out there, my guy?
Hey, man. Listen. Watch. Actually, when you looking at these draft boards and you looking at some of these guys that you want the Bears to draft, actually look at the tape. Remember, no free releases if you're looking at the wide receivers. No free releases if you're looking at the wide receivers. And
but he was wide open downfield.
Hey, he's wide open downfield, bro. I'm telling you, he's burning everybody. No free releases down the field. And Hey man, just Ashton Jesse's going in the top 10.
All right, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.
I just want to see Pat lose his mind.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more football talk here from the Chicago Bears and maybe a little NBA talk. We'll see kind of what the NBA affords us tonight. Listen, I was going to talk about I was about to get out of here.
I do want to talk about did you see the Channing Frye?
The Channing Frye? What
Channing Frye joint?
How about the NBA? Yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow. That's a Channing Frye. Shut up. 2 points again. Get off my screen. I was gonna say we could talk about the Jerry Reinsdorf stuff. The possibility that there's an Ishbia gonna buy the White Sox. But I ain't that worried about the White Sox. Well, I'd rather see it.
Bro, not 9-0.
Hey, brother.
9.
Brother. They took it. So I forgot this was a rule in spring training. You could take a pitcher out and put him back in if he has a bad start in the first inning. In spring training, only in spring training. So they took this dude out after 4 on runs, brought in somebody else. He gave up 5, and then they were just like, let's end the inning. The inning just ended. We didn't get 3 outs. They just ended the inning.
Like it's honestly, bro, it's so bad. Like I can't even joke. Because it's about to, I feel like it's about to be worse than last year.
You want to know what? It might be. It absolutely might be. But you want to know what I will say about this? I would rather be knowing going into a season my team is going to suck than be y'all and feel like you got hope.
Oh, yeah. You know they got us projected at like...
no, I see 90 wins.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They got us... I don't know. You know I wasn't messing with the Justin Turner... I wasn't messing with the Justin Turner signing, so we gonna see.
We'll see. Hey, Pocky Facts. White Sox are the only team we can eliminate from playoff contention in spring training. Yeah, stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down, one love. See red. Go White Sox.
Denzel Valentine. By the way, we didn't need that.
Oh, that mug. You want to talk about sucks? His gums. Peace.
Bro, that was